remember about her most is I think she was the world's first most liberated woman.
Really?
Yes, because she used to drive when nobody else drove a car. She used to smoke and nobody else. It wasn't, you know, the in thing to really. So I always think of her as she was very much in the social picture. She had lots of friends. She was a fantastic cook. She should have been a chef. Everything she cooked tasted like nobody else's. And she was always out. She had a lot of friends, and she always visited people. And I remember I was a little girl, and she used to take me with her. And she was just ahead of her time.
When we used to go for the weekends, Uncle Alvin and Loretta. We used to go for a week and we arranged time.
Thanks.
And your mother too.
And put on the tape what your name is.
My name is Tony DeVent. Your grandmother always had a wonderful sense of humor, no matter what happened.
You don't remember Matilda next door? She's just saying yes. Did she recognize you too? No, I got to kiss her. I got to kiss her. Let me kiss her. Happy birthday. Do you remember me? Phil's cousin.
Hi, Aunt Loretta. How are you? I'm Nancy. Congratulations.
Hello, Aunt Loretta. How are you? Thank you. Oh, you know me, huh? Oh, you know me, huh? You don't forget me, huh? How are you?
Do you remember? Do you remember her? And she said she remembered me.
Rocky. Anne Marie's husband. Rocky, look up. Over here. Thank you. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Many days Francis Gonzalez. I know all the restaurants. I know Diana. She spent many nights with her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she...
Yeah, we're close. We're close to her. Oh, listen, Al and Jeanette live blocks away.
I was one of the bridesmaids for Louise.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can see the picture on the right there.
Oh, look.
Yeah, I was one of the bridesmaids. I spent many good days with them.
Hi, you, Neil. Nice to see you. You look great. Well, nice to be here for this 100th birthday. Not everybody gets that many people make it. Sometimes they just people. She doesn't know what's going
Even the governor's wife.
I was a little distraught over this relationship I had with this one particular girl. And I remember Nana came running over to me and she kind of said, listen, Dennis, girls are like trolley cars. If you miss one, there's always another one coming up over the hill. So don't worry. Things will be okay, you know. So she kind of made me feel really happy and good about the fact that I said, hey, yeah, I'm a young guy. You know, there's always another girl. Really nice that she said that.
You know, Mom and Dad used to go over there and drop me off, and I would have to be forced to help Nana cook, chop up the vegetables and stuff. I never wanted to do that. I wanted to go in the backyard and, you know, swat flies all day or play in the rose garden or something. But no, I would have to cook and cut up the vegetables and stuff. She would always tell me I was doing this or doing that wrong, and I'd do it right. And she'd give me some of the taste of the sauce on bread, which was the best. Always just tasting the sauce. And I don't know where everybody would be. Everybody would be out somewhere. Albert would probably be at the park. And Mom and Dad and I think Edward or you would be somewhere else. But since I was the youngest, I'd be left with her to cook in the kitchen. That's about some of the earliest memory I have of Nana. And then, you know, as she moved to Queens with us later on, I had to start cooking for her when she, you know, had her stroke and stuff. And I would remember anything I would cook for her, if it had anything to do with tomato sauce, she would immediately avoid anything else and go directly to the tomato sauce. Anything with tomato sauce or anything that was sweet, right to it, right to the pasta.
I'll let you know. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, why don't you...
Birthday. Your birthday, not mine. Oh. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Put it higher, put it higher. Turn it up. All right, everybody. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to this 100th birthday party. And I'd like to thank you for coming out in this terrible, terrible weather. From long distances, New Jersey, Albany, Brooklyn, and further. We're here to celebrate further. We're here to celebrate the 100th birthday of a great lady. This year we also celebrate the 100th birthday of another great lady, Lady Liberty. And we stopped to think that Laura Devanzo, our grandmother, was born the same year that the Statue of Liberty was put in place. So we toast 100 years of life, 100 years of thoughtfulness, of generosity. We've all had arguments with her, perhaps little disagreements. She was a strong woman. She's still a strong woman. When am I going to eat? I go to the nursing home. When am I going to eat? That's the first thing out of her mouth, immediately. So she has a great appetite. So we toast Laura Devanzo, 100 years of life and 100 years more. Here, here. Cheers. Happy birthday, Chin Don.
Happy birthday.
Give us some.
I'd like to now ask Biage.
Yeah. Yeah, try to... Hold it, Nana. That's it. There you go. That's good. That's enough. All right, that's good.
You don't like it, so
Here, take some out.
one. All right.
There we go.
Tell me to go every Sunday morning when I come
What does this say? What's that number there? Okay, one of the first memories of my grandmother Nana was a clear picture of her fixing my hair as I would go off to grammar school at St. Agnes in Brooklyn. Curling up my hair would take place every morning. I would have to stop and say goodbye to her and take off to school. Second was her driving. She loved a Chevrolet, always bought a Chevrolet. And driving to Parsippany and back from Parsippany in her 38 Chevy, I can see her as if it were yesterday. She loved her cars and would always wear white gloves. Never drove without white gloves. And always, by the way, she would always take a ferry, the Weehawken ferry, constantly. Afraid of tunnels, afraid of trucks, and loved to drive her Chevys. Also, her cooking and her company. She loved a house full of company constantly and would cook every kind of Italian dish known to mankind. Personally, she was always well-dressed, always neat, organized, drove, as I said before, with white gloves. She spoke really what amounts to 4 different languages, as I recall. English perfectly, without an accent. Sicilian dialect, Neapolitan dialect, and the Tuscan dialect, all with perfection. She had loads of company over and she'd switch from one dialect to another all the time. She was a very strong-willed woman. She almost always got her way. I should know that. She was so strong-willed that she made over 200 relatives promise that they would never ever tell my mom that she was adopted. This is something that she was very good at. In terms of her personal likes of chocolate, ice cream, sodas, every night. Her Ebbinger's cakes, her wrestling. She just adored wrestling. She just couldn't get away from it. And naturally, we all know about her pains. She was always in pains, her feet, her legs, with her rheumatism and her arthritis. But that would never stop her from having a great time with a lot of people. and always, always invited people over to the house. She was very involved in the neighborhood. She was a member of 2 or 3 different ladies' groups. They would get together 2 or 3 times a week, discuss the neighborhood, discuss the family, and naturally other items. She brought me along a couple of times, that's how I know about this. And one thing I will never forget is her and her sister Katie teaching me Neapolitan songs. They'd sit me down, they would sing it to me, they would give me the words, they would translate them, and they'd have me repeat them. And I learned 2 or 3 Neapolitan songs perfectly. Her favorite was Di Gitancello Voi and Tazze Cafe Parigi.
Sing it, sing it.
Well, I would go to the nursing home and I'd give her one line. I would say, "E tante che da girà," and she would give me the rest of the song. "Tante che da girà, e tante che da udà, e io zucchero sotto razza in vi e mocca madariva." And she would sing the whole song. Neapolitan, of course, was our mother tongue.
And we have footage of Mommy and her singing it.
And singing that song. Some of her cooking was exquisite. I mean, gee, I miss a lot of the dishes like soffritto. I'm sure you love it too. The heart, the lungs, and the liver, all cooked with a nice, thick Italian tomato sauce with bay leaf. And her own version of vegetable stew, which she would call a bobba. And she would open the door of the kitchen and call me from upstairs and say, "Eduardo, vieni qua per una boga bob." And I would come downstairs and just eat 1, 2, 3 dishes of that and love it. 100.
Hey, listen.
That's how old you are. Right?
Who the hell lived on?
All right. Okay. I'd just like to say that this time I'd like to thank...
You better.
Is your sister talking?
I haven't.
I'm a school teacher, watch out. I'll keep you after school. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody who made this possible. My brother Neil, my brother Albert, my brother Dennis, who accompanied my grandmother in the ambulette and will accompany her back. My sister-in-law Jeanette with the birthday cake. Sister-in-law Joanne doing decorations and everything else that she... she called up a number of places before we settled on this one. And everybody gave a helping hand. And I'd also at this time like to thank Mrs. Chadwick, whom we invited here. She has given expert care, loving care, my grandmother for the 13 years that she has been...
She deserves a hand.
And as well as everyone else at Winter Park.
Okay. Here's your first present. You want to open it? Lift it up. Lift it up. Go ahead. Lift it up. You do it. Hey, who's it from? There you go. This is from Aunt Florrie. There's a nice sweater. Oh, yeah. Jeanette. Come here.
Very.
You like that?
Very nice.
Very nice. You like that? Yes. Okay.
My earliest moments with my grandmother, Laura Devanzo, back in 1948-49, was when we had a big snowstorm, and we used to play in the snow. The snow was very, very deep, and my brothers and I, and my father and my mother used to have a great time. And I used to ask my grandmother to bring down the bicycle from upstairs because I was very small and I couldn't get it up the stairs. We used to go outside, we used to play, and she'd bring me to the park around the corner, Carroll Park. We used to play during the summertime and take walks with her, and she was a wonderful woman. One thing I remember about my grandmother was when we went downstairs to eat, there was live eels swimming around in the sink. And my grandfather, you know, being young as I was, my grandfather used to love them. It used to be a delicacy with him. And my grandmother would chopped the heads off right in front of me. And that was something to see and watch my grandmother do. It was like nothing that she'd done it so many times.
Did you eat the eels?
No, I never ate the eels. In fact, I took off. I got scared. And then we used to eat down there many, many times, and we used to run around, and I was always doing something, into something. My grandfather was mad at me. I used to climb up the clothesline about 3 stories high. And at that time, when I did that, Uncle Tony was around, and my grandmother used to come out in the back screaming, "You only get down from this clothesline." It got smaller at the top. And I stayed up there for hours until everybody left, and then I came down and went over the back fence, and I took off. When I think of Nana, I always think about what a great cook she was. Whenever we went anywhere, my grandmother did anything, went over her house, the food that she cooked was unbelievable. It was always so great, I just couldn't get enough. Till this day, I still can't get enough.
What was your favorite dish that you made?
One of the favorite dishes that she used to make was spaghetti, naturally. It was always tons of pasta vazul, her own sauce for hours and hours, meat sauce and all kinds of things. Pasta vazul, pasta lenticchia, aglio olio, pasta leggera. All these things were great. And we grew up, and having a large family, there was always a lot to go around. And for the next day, too.
Evening from Phyllis Fonda, Aunt Florrie's daughter. As if she knows who it is. Look, you like this? Very nice. Want me to open this one? Which one do you want me to open? This one? Nice nightgown. Oh, evening there. Very nice. All right, come over. That's from Albina. Show it, Al. You know Albina? Here's another present for you. Look at this. Look how pretty. Ooh. And here's another one. See this one? Birthday greetings from Anna Marie and Rocky. Look, see Anna Marie over there? Look at Anna Marie. Wave to her. Wave to her. Hey, Anna Marie. Look, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's the bride. Used to put it. And we have presents from monetary presents from other people to buy things that she needs through the coming months until 105th. All right. Matilda Cuomo.
Just wonderful. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, it's true. The Cuomos live next door. They have Cuomos on the other side as well. And I spent many, many hours with this lady, Ed, talking about the children, talking about life, talking about Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklyn gal, first and foremost. And when I was married, I went into Queens, but I really, when you're from Brooklyn, you never forget. And coming from Atlantic Avenue, as she did, she used to reminisce with me and talk about so many wonderful old memories of Brooklyn. But more than that, she always had such an insightful, a wonderful way of expressing things about life, very simply and very clearly. And I always remembered that because, as my husband always says, you can go to higher learning, do whatever you want in life, but the simple, basic truths are the ones we live by. Taking care of your family, knowing who you are, and just the love that you have in a family. And what we see today, I am so moved, and really, my whole family, we were talking about it last night, that these young men here have done such a wonderful thing for all of us to remember the basic truths in our lives, that the love in a family shows itself in many ways, and they demonstrate it here today, having us all come together to celebrate this wonderful occasion. And I must tell Mrs. Devanza that she was lucky in a way. We were lucky to have them as neighbors, and we really mean that with all our heart. But she was lucky to have a neighbor became a governor. And Mario has set this citation for her in place.
Oh.
Which comes from the state of New York. And I'd like to read it. It's the State of New York Executive Chamber citation. New York State recognizes and salutes a remarkable citizen as she marks her 100th birthday, January 28, 1986.
I never thought it would, this day would come. She went in there with legs like balloons, and with a bit of diabetes, and with a bit of heart murmur, and with high blood pressure.
That's just like me. I'm on the next week.
And with all these things, and they completely changed her diet. They took away the sugar, they took away the salt, they took away the spicy foods, and it just changed slowly, and the legs went down slowly, the water in her stomach disappeared, the diabetes they can hardly find a trace, the heart is fine, and she just snapped right back. Just amazing.
We are here again this month.
Now you have to come here.
And we have a special occasion to wish a happy birthday to one of the patients in this nursing home, Laura, who celebrates her 100th anniversary. Happy birthday to Laura. She was 100 years old yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Laura. Happy birthday to you. Long should you live. Well, we just...
Mr. Capolongo will read a little note from the governor.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we had the 100th birthday party at Villa Bianca in Queens, and was attended by Matilda Cuomo, who is the governor's wife. Okay. She read the citation from Governor Cuomo to my grandmother, Laura Devanzo. Citation: New York State recognizes and salutes a remarkable citizen as she marks her 100th birthday, January 28, 1986. She was born Laura Buglione in Cimitile, Italy, in the province of Satera on January 28, 1886. Her father and brother came to the United States in 1890, and Laura made the 30-day voyage by sailing ship with her mother and sisters in 1893. Her family settled on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, and they later lived in the Carroll Gardens area of South Brooklyn. She married Albert Devanzo, and they had a daughter, Louise, who married Edward Capolongo, and they had 4 sons, Edward, Albert, Neil, and Dennis. Mrs. Devanzo exemplifies the strength of character and devotion to family, faith, and hard work which have enriched our state and nation. On the joyous occasion of her 100th birthday, she remains a model of inspiration to us all. Now, therefore, I, Mario M. Cuomo, Governor of the State of New York, do hereby cite and congratulate Mrs. Laura Devanzo, and Matilda and I join with her loving family, especially her 4 grandsons and friends, to wish her a wonderful celebration and a happy birthday. Signed, Mario M. Cuomo, Governor.
You know, it's a funny thing. If one of the first things I remember, what comes to mind about Nana, is going over the house, and I used to sleep on what we used to call her pillows. But what that actually was her breasts. And I'd say, "Can I sleep on your pillows?" I always remember her sitting around and standing by the sink. Standing by the sink. She was always stationary. And she used to do things to conserve garbage space, like leave a wax container of milk on the sink and make sure she filled it up with garbage. Make sure she filled up the wax container with garbage before she put the wax container in the garbage. She used to tear out the inside of Unita biscuits, the wax paper on the inside of Unita biscuits, and use the wax paper to wrap food. Of course, the first thing that everybody thinks of is her cooking. Cooking is superb. Passed on to Mom, by the way. I remember I used to go over and have my favorite dish that she cooked was her chicken soup. And she had a funny way of eating chicken soup. She used to, the chicken that used to rise up above the level of the soup, she would take a little mayonnaise and spread it on the chicken and eat that before hitting the soup. You know, right down to the last days at the nursing home, she always had a kind word and a thank you and a smile for everyone, no matter how bad her situation might be. She always had a kind word. I don't think a derogatory moment ever transpired between us. She had a color TV before anybody had a color TV. She used to love to watch wrestling. She watched it religiously, and she liked to watch the soaps also. But one thing that was really cute was the way she always used to, if you remember, she would keep talking even though she was running out of breath. And when she was running out of breath, she would finish the sentence and keep talking like that. And also, of course, an image that will always remain in my mind is that special chair that she had to use to help her walk. She wouldn't use any kind of other device. She had to have that special chair without the legs to help her walk. That'll always remain in my mind.
Nana, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Who am I? Neil.
Yeah.
And do you know how old you are today?
I'm old.
How old?
I'm over 100.
You're 100 years old today.
Today?
Today. 100. Isn't that something?
It's something.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Who?
Now I know.
Neil.
Neil.
Right. And I love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Nana, did you have a good time at the party yesterday?
Very good.
Did you? Do you remember
Very
everybody
good.
was there?
Yes.
We had food, Italian food, and cake.
And sleep at the night.
And what? Sleep in the
Sleep
night?
at night.
And do you know how old you are today?
I know. I'm very old.
100.
Today?
Did Edward come today?
No.
No? But he
I
comes.
didn't see him.
He comes all the time, though, right? That's right.
He comes all the time.
But he'll be here later on today, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
Everybody wants you to know that they love you and they had a good time at the party yesterday. Okay? Did you have a good time?
Sure.
Good, I'm glad.
Very good.
Yeah?
Very good.
That's good. I'm glad. And did you like the food?
Very good.
What kind? It was Italian food, right?
No.
No, what kind?
German food.
German food? Oh, that's good. That's right, she knew what she was eating. Okay. I can see you now.
Yeah?
Yeah. So you know who I am now?
Not exactly.
You know who I am, Nana? I'm Neil.
Neil.
Yes.
Dominic's son?
No. I'm Neil, Edward's brother.
Oh. Edward's brother.
Edward's brother. You know who I am now?
Yeah.
Who?
Neil.
Right, Edward's brother.
Edward's brother.
That's right.
Is that with Edward once?
No, I come by myself.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Imogen. My feet hurt.
So you know who I am now?
Yeah.
Who am I?
You're Aunt Katie's son.
Who am I?
Aunt Katie's son.
No, I'm Edward's brother.
Edward's brother.
Right, Neil. So tell me, do your feet hurt? Your feet hurt now?
Yeah. A little bit.
Your feet have hurt ever since I know you. You know that? Ever since I know you, your feet hurt. Okay, I'm gonna go now.
Never had good ones.
You never had good ones?
Yeah.
You look good, Nana. You look very good.
Yeah?
Yep. Okay, we're gonna go now. Okay, say bye-bye. I'll see ya. Take care, we'll see you soon.
My feet hurt.
Your feet hurt.